Oh, are the villages losing sales to Ocala? I'm looking at, the stats from that Newsweek article I published about 2, 3 weeks ago, and I noticed that, the villages was down about 12%, and that's pretty close to what my figures were. They were down about 12 to 15%, depending on the model. Certain models are down more than that. Some of the more common, I should say less common models like pool homes, preserve homes, privacy homes, they're still doing okay in the villages, but they're less common. So I pulled up the Ocala, sorry, and in the last 60 days, I figured they had about 1,200 homes sold in and around Ocala in 55 plus communities and other new build areas. And that includes existing homes too. Okay. And if I look at that, I realize that wow, there's a lot of competition going on. I mean, you've got DR Horton up there building, you have on top of the world, you have Spruce Creek. They're all Del Webb, they're all building up there and they're selling homes. It's not like, the villages is stealing too much business from them. What I'm thinking is that they're starting to steal business from the villages just based on the fact of location, based on what they have for amenities, in a sense of shopping, restaurants. That's big up there. You're gonna have a lot more of that than the villages will have all day long. So if I look, the villages is always going to have their village strong people show up, right? They're always going to be like, I want the amenities, I know what it offers, but there's other options out there. And I think the villages are missing the boat on some of these things in the sense of you can go up there to, Del Webb, Spruce Creek, or on top of the road, even, some of the DR Horton builds recently and they're building for less than $170 a square foot on some of these homes, and they're beautiful. They're not like they're cheap stuff. And so I'm looking and look, I'm going to do a longer video on this coming up so that you can understand what's really going on with this market and why the villages is probably seeing a 12% or more price cut on these homes in the last year, why Ocala and surrounding areas up there are seeing a 3%, almost 3% increase in prices and an increase in sales. So things sometimes aren't what people think they are. I do see a lot of competition in the villages, especially in the Middleton area, in a sense of I think they thought they were going to sell more homes down in that section. But what happened was a ton of apartments came into play, and there's more being built around the villages. And that's going to hurt that Middleton area. It'll slow down the building down there in that section. I'm not saying they're not going to continue to build there. What I'm saying is it'll definitely slow down the demand. Because would you rather go buy a 350, $400,000 house and have a payment of 2,500, 3 grand, whatever it is, have no amenities other than what they build in Middleton? Or would you rather go get an apartment complex where it's $1,800 a month, but that's 3 beds, 2 baths? So just think about that. I mean, there's some changes going on in the market outside of the villages that are definitely having the effect on the villages and the building and the demand. I could see it. I'm going to do a longer video on this. Just want to do a short one here real quick. But that's what's coming. And I see a lot of things happening around the villages that are definitely going to affect what goes on within the villages, whether anybody wants to believe that or not. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.